Hi guys, welcome back. Invisigoth here with you. And we are just past the 3-hour mark. So this would be day 10. And I've got 13 Eyes of Ender. Could theoretically be enough to get me to the portal. I would have to make sure that only one Eye of Ender breaks along the way as I'm trying to locate the stronghold. And the 12, again, is needed just in case, and it's fairly likely that there are no Eyes of Ender already in the portal. I don't like to bank on that. I mean, you could basically get all the way to the end and find out you're one pearl short, and it's just not worth it. I would rather spend the extra 20 minutes getting the pearls I need to make absolutely sure that I can get to the end and get to the dragon. Could you shave off time? Could you cross your fingers and get lucky? Yeah, but believe me, I've done 37 of these things already, plus a bunch more before that, as just dry runs to work out my strategy and work out some of the kinks. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Last thing in the world you want. I probably have anywhere between 4 and 6 save games where I got to the portal and don't have enough pearls, and there's just no point in, dicking around and then spending an extra night looking for some Endermen. At that point, it's just kind of dead in the water. So I'm going to shoot for, I certainly need 14, and 15 would be great. So we're at 13 now. One more night, and I should be all set and be guaranteed to at least open the end portal. And I have a decent chance, depending on where the stronghold is, of finding it with the extra 3 to 5 or whatever it is, extra Eyes of Ender. I think that's a reasonable approach. Maybe it's a little too conservative for some folks, but I cannot guarantee you that 13 is enough to get us there and open the portal. And this is just another factor of the randomness. The number, if I knew for a fact that there were always 12 Eyes of Ender needed for the end portal, this wouldn't even be a question. I mean, obviously I would need 13 minimum, and maybe, well, again, you could probably get away with 12 in like an ideal circumstance, but Minecraft is not that forgiving. It just isn't. It is just too random. So, a little bit more iron, and I've just acquired a second bow that I can actually combine with my current bow, so that's what I'm here for. A little bit of iron, a little bit of gravel. So, digging. Or gravel. Now, one thing I can say is that I found the speed run. First of all, when I first thought of speedruns in Minecraft, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Hey, diamonds, free diamonds. That doesn't suck. Free diamonds while I'm looking for iron. My first thought was, well, a speedrun for Minecraft, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's just too ridiculously goddamn random. And, sure, there's going to be that one guy who's going to spawn in a town, and the blacksmith shop has, a bunch of stuff that he needs and all that kind of stuff. And let's face it, that guy would not necessarily be a better player than anyone else. He would just sort of be the luckiest guy. And that's fine. I don't mind that. I'm pretty much not comparing myself with other folks in this. I'm just comparing myself against my previous runs. So, and again, this is not a great run. I'll be the first to admit it. 4 hours is way too long. But 3 hours, that seems reasonable to me. 2 hours would be swell. 2 hours would be nice. I would feel good about 2 hours. And if I could get it down below 2 hours, man, I'd be really happy with that. But on some level, no matter how skilled you are, 90% of this is just pure dumb luck. And, you know, some of the things in this thing worked out lucky. I mean, hey, more diamonds. The fact that I got a bow that I could combine with my first bow and make a power 2 bow. Pure random chance. It had nothing to do with me being a great player or anything like that. Also, just the fact that I had a desert and plains near my spawn was fairly lucky, although I'll be honest with you, I tried a bunch of start points. I basically, if I am in an ocean biome on an island, I consider that a non-starter. For me personally, if I am in either a jungle or taiga biome, I just don't even bother. For whatever reason, I just don't like those. And so, yeah, there's plenty of times I start a game, look around, see what the biomes are, and say, nope, this isn't going to work. So, again, I've probably had, I don't know, let's say somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 serious attempts and maybe another 50 or more things where I created a random world, did not specify a seed, looked around to see what I had, and just said, oh, this isn't going to work. So easily 100 new worlds that I created, getting from the first idea of, hey, maybe I should do a speedrun to this. So, you know, if you wanna keep rolling the dice until you get like a perfect random seed that works out for you, be my guest. But we're literally talking, that could easily be thousands of new worlds created to find that one that would really be a substantial benefit. And this kind of thing is pretty typical for speedruns anyway. I mean, you certainly, if there's a random chance you want to sort of keep rolling the dice till you get a good roll, if you can do it, sure, that's cool. But for the limits of my patience, this is about as much as I can take. Maybe there are people out there more patient than me who can wait for something even a little more perfect, and I'm sure it would make a big difference on their times. So it would be worth it. So again, I'll be happy if other people do speedruns and get better times than me. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. I think that's great, and I would probably learn some things from their playthroughs, and I'd love to see the videos. I would enjoy that. So knock yourselves out, people. Don't just be a hater. If you think you can do it better, then do it better and post a video. I have faith in you. So I'm enchanting a diamond helmet, which I was able to just scrape together from leftovers. Fire Protection 1. Absolutely useless fighting the dragon. But whatever. It provides a little more armor, so I'm going to go with it. And that's the other thing. Even if you can get a lucky enchantment like that, I mean, that's not... I would expect Protection 1, but not Fire Protection at that low of a level. It was only 8 levels of... Was it even 8 levels of enchantment? I would have to rewind the video to check. I think it was more like... It might have been 7 even. But even if you do get a quote-unquote higher level enchantment, a lot of them are useless. I mean, Bane of Arthropods, knockback on a sword, punch on a bow might be okay, but is it better than shoot, I always forget. Power. I want to say piercing, but power. I'd rather have power 1 than punch, for sure, if it was one or the other. Power 1 plus punch, maybe, but not punch alone. That would be a shitty bow. I'd probably, at that point, use it just because I probably wouldn't have enough levels to enchant a second bow. But in some ways, it's nice to know that if you just enchant things at a low level, you're going to get power 1 on your bow, you're going to get protection 1 on all your armor, and you're going to get sharpness 1 on your sword, almost always. the vast majority of the time you're going to get those things, and those things are reliable. And you start stacking up protection, I think. Well, it isn't. It may not technically be the same as having one item with protection 4. I actually have not double-checked that, but I do know that protection and things like that stack. So 4 items with protection 1 is much better than 1 item with protection 1. So it's well worth doing, and I don't think at that level, I don't think it would max out the protection. Again, it may not be equal to protection 4 on 1 item, but it's up there. So that's not bad. And it almost makes me think that I should just put 1 level on everything, because at least I know I'm going to get an enchantment, and at the lowest levels, those are the enchantments you're going to get. That is interesting. You know, maybe I should consider that. Maybe I should get my initial bow and my initial armor, and I should enchant them with 1 level. Now, did you see that he took damage when he shot me? I think I have thorns at this point. Somehow. Do I have thorns? Anyway. Once again, you can check the video. I'm not going to go back right now and check it. It's very good collection. No pearl? I think there was no pearl. Hello, in demand. Where are you at? So if you really want to think about what is necessary for which part of this, I would say that the armor and the sword are pretty much exclusively necessary prior to the dragon. And they're slightly useful if you do happen to go to the end and piss off an Enderman and have to fight him. They'll help. Not a lot, but they'll help. They might save you from getting killed on that second hit. But for all intents and purposes, you shouldn't let the dragon touch you. You should just hit him with arrows and keep him off you. Every time you hit him with an arrow, he'll fly away. So there's really no need for armor against the dragon directly, as long as you've got enough arrows. Now, could you do that with a sword? Yeah, you could. And that would save you a lot of time as far as gathering feathers and things like that, but it would take a while. It would take a while, and it would expose you to an awful lot of potential damage. The potential to also be knocked off the floating island if you're standing anywhere near the edge. And as far as I can tell, I get the impression, like I did try a speed run where I ran out of arrows and I had to kill like the last, 1/6 of the dragon's health I had to take out with a sword. So I'd wait till he swooped in, and then I would just kind of jump up on top of him, which was kind of wrong. I had not read up on the wiki as far as exactly how that all works. But I jumped up on him, and several times, and for that matter, even times when I was using the bow, when he got too close, he does a little bit of damage, maybe 3 or 4 hearts. I guess probably 5 or 6 hearts if you don't count armor. But it wasn't anything I was worried about because it takes him so long to come back around that it was healing right back up. So, and of course I had no potions. I think, however, the dragon has sort of like, if he touches you with his wing, maybe that's one type of damage, but if he hits you with his head or his mouth, I think it's a different kind of damage, and it's more substantial. Now, I looked on the wiki and couldn't find exactly how that worked, so take that with a grain of salt. That's my own personal, again, this is anecdotal observation on my part. I am just telling you what I saw and what I thought at the time. Stay away from the head. Even if you are whacking him with a sword, try sidestep it. So what is that? Is that 14 or 15? Don't know. I guess it's 14, otherwise I would have just gotten the hell out. Because I'm really good at getting the hell out when I've gotten what I need. Okay. Creeper and a skeleton. Gotta clear these guys out so they don't mess with me while I'm messing with the enemy. Come on, dude. Dude. Give me a pearl. And there we go. I'll take that. Isn't that 15? I may have miscounted. I didn't double check when I just pulled up my inventory. I thought it said 2. I'll have to go back and check the video. But if that's 2, then there's no reason for me to be out here. I guess 15 is good. 16 would really be pretty much guaranteed that you're going to be fine. And I guess if there's a guy standing out here, why not? This I could easily see someone arguing that this is overkill, and they'd be right. I wouldn't argue against that. It is overkill. I guess at this point I was just sick of messing around and did not want any further complications. So, 15 is great. 16 is better. More insurance, let's say, just in case you have a lot of breakage. I haven't done it yet. You could easily burn 5 ender pearls looking for a portal that was under the ocean or in a jungle, particularly. And I've also found that you can often lose your Eyes of Ender. I think I said ender pearls again. Eyes of Ender. And you can often lose your Eyes of Ender in a tree. And they'll be there. You just can't really see them sometimes. So you end up dicking around and spending 2 minutes looking for it. So I only got 2. So that only gets me up to 15. So, but that is sufficient. I guess at this point, I finally realized that I could combine my bows and get the power tube. And as a benefit, it kind of maxes out my bow's durability for only 5 levels. That was pretty sweet. Gotta like that. So yeah, 15 ender pearls. Somehow I miscounted, but 15 is, I would say, a minimum. 16 is better if you can get it. So let's see, about 3 hours and 20 minutes. So this is the beginning of day 9. 9? That's not right. $11. Sorry, brain cramp. 3 days per hour for 3 hours. Yeah, you don't want to be still messing around with this stuff at day 11. I got enough gold ingots to do some enchanting. I just happened on them. I probably should have left them where they were. I find that they're just not gold is not all that useful. If I had some extra levels, I would probably slap it on some gold swords, but you can't do that at the end. Because once you've got your ender pearls, you have no use for swords. So you have to, you have to do that fairly early. And again, really all you're looking for there is just the 1,000,000 to 1 chance you're going to get looting. And because gold is so highly enchantable, you might get it with 8 levels. I don't even know if that's mathematically possible, though. It may literally be just out of range. And, I mean, it may be a mathematical impossibility for 8 levels and a gold sword to even get looting 1. I know there's some random luck factors in the math, and sometimes things swing hard in your favor, but I don't think they swing quite that hard. So, Eye of Ender number 1, pointing me to the stronghold, just south of due west, I believe. I usually put down some rocks, some stone, some cobblestone to make sure I don't forget which direction the pearl indicated. So, am I ready to roll? Yes. We are vacating the premises and going to the stronghold, and there's no turning back now. And right here, I was just trying to kind of gauge how far away I was from my spawn location, spawn chunk. Because that's a factor. I mean, if that's, 100 blocks, then that's 100 blocks I don't have to walk. And a lot of people get really frustrated with finding the stronghold. I found that, they also get frustrated with Endermen not dropping pearls often enough, which I think everyone would not be surprised by the fact that I do agree with that. I wouldn't mind if they turned that up a little bit. But finding a stronghold itself, once you have the Eyes of Ender, I mean, it makes no sense to just throw up. I mean, right now, I could throw up pearls all the way along here, and it would be completely useless because the stronghold cannot be less than, I think it's 640 blocks from the spawn chunk. So, for the first 640 blocks, you are just wasting your Eyes of Ender, especially considering that they might break 1 chance out of 5. And I had a far distance on for a long time, but covering a lot of new ground and hitting chunks that haven't been processed yet is not great on far render on my machine. So this should be sufficient, though. But yeah, considering the breakage on the Eyes of Ender, basically what you want to do is go out 600 and then go out to like 800, 900, and then throw up your pearl, or your eye in this case, and it'll tell you forward or backward along that same axis, but it'll also probably tell you a little bit, north or south in this case, a little bit off the direct line, because no matter how you do this, you're going to be off north or south a little bit. And I actually ran into some trouble coming up here. Well, I'll talk about it when it happens. But here in the next couple minutes, I did something that I could have done better. I mean, there's plenty of those types of things, but this one I think was particularly just an oversight on my part, and I definitely learned something from it. So what I'm trying to do here is get out really more than 800, more like 900 blocks from the original spawn. And then you've sort of got, 300 from 900 to 1200, and then you've got 300 from 900 back down to 600. So you sort of split that range in half. And because I was in a rush, I didn't put just a one Eye of Ender on my bar. I usually try and just put one, because I have accidentally tried to, eat and then clicked on the wrong item and thrown all, 15 of my Eyes of Ender up in the air almost instantly. talk about ruining a speedrun. If you hear that whoop, 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 real close. Oh. And that one broke. So now I'm down to 14. And this is literally triangulating the location and using all of the information I could possibly get regarding this fortress, this stronghold. Alright, it's still up there. I got it back. So I'm just down 1 at this point. That's not bad, all things considered. 14 is a goodly number to have at this point. So I'm on the right track. It definitely, and if you think about it, when I say that there's a 600 to 1200 block range that you're looking for, also don't forget that when you're at the spawn and the eye goes in a certain direction, that is the closest stronghold. It's not just a random stronghold, it's the one that is closest. Therefore, it's probably not in the 1000 to 1200 range. It could be, but you could probably adjust that down a little bit and then do more of like a 600 to 1000 thing and then start throwing your Eye of Ender at about, there, another one broke. So we got 13. Now it's getting a little bit tight. If I break another one before I find it, then I could easily end up standing at the portal with 11 Eyes of Ender and being 1 short. Good. We know we're like right on top of it. Please don't break. Please don't break. We got our 13. And off we go. Now, this is in my mind a little bit buggy. The Eyes of Ender kind of sink into solid blocks, and they don't necessarily come back out. So you can also lose one very easily, just right on top of the damn fortress. It'll just sink right through the ground, and you have really no clue where it went. I mean, you have a general idea, but you may or may not actually find that. Now, in this case, I was digging sort of a customized version of a way that you can dig sort of straight down. And this ends up taking way too much time doing this, but I didn't really want to, you know, what I should have done is just blocked off the sides. Clearly, there's a little bit too much traffic here. But, yeah. Well, this isn't the bad call I was talking about. This is another bad call. So, note to self, don't do this. Just block off the cave and keep going. Because honestly, in this case, I'm not coming back up. So, it really doesn't matter a whole lot. But I felt obligated to kind of clear this out. And what I'm doing here is I just dig down on one side. And then I kind of look around and make sure the coast is clear. And I dig down on the other side. There's always a possibility that I'll get some lava from the side, but I've done this quite a few times at strongholds, and I have yet to have lava on my feet. So, and this is why I put that bucket of water there. Because just in case, I want to make sure that I don't have to fuck with anything, really. So I'm down at the stronghold, but what did I fail to do? I failed to figure out exactly where the portal was. So what I should have done is back up at the top when I got, especially when I picked up that portal in the cave, or the Eye of Ender in the cave. I should have actually gone back up, right? And I knew approximately where east-west the portal was. What I should have done is walked like 40 blocks south and then thrown an Eye of Ender. Now, it is risky. You could lose another eye, but that would give me like a good angle on exactly where the portal is, east to west, as far as north to south. If that makes sense. You can sort of triangulate the location of the portal and go down and straight into the portal. What ended up happening here is I kind of end up dicking around for about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so trying to find the actual portal, and that hurt my speedrun substantially as well. That was not just bad luck on my part. That was just, I should have done it better. So, again, note to self, lesson learned. But, all right, well, that's about it for this episode. We're going to be exploring the fortress and locating the And let me think. I have 2 episodes or 3 after this? Nope. The next episode is the last episode. So it might be a little bit longer, might be more like 40 minutes, but it's Kill the Dragon, and I do want to include also the credits. I don't know, some people are sticklers for this thing, and they, want to count your time as including the credits or whatever. That's fine. But I want to make sure this was all documented, it was all in the video. No one can question whether I went from start to finish on this thing. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.